Financial wellness. Reach out to them for advice at 855-DON-GINO. And now back to your hosts, Don Getling and Gino Franti.
Fees. What are you paying when you hire a financial advisor? So why don't you explain what the different fees are and what they don't know?
Right. So I won't go into individual products because there's a whole bunch of different and details and all that stuff. So I'm going to go into the three main ways that you pay fees. The first one is commission-based products, and this is probably the oldest and most traditional way of paying for investments. And it's been getting a lot of heat lately. Everybody thinks commissions are bad. So let's talk about what are commissions. So if I sell somebody an investment for $100,000 and there's a 5% commission on it, then I'm going to make $5,000 on that $100,000 investment. Okay, so there's two things that happen in that world, though. The first one is that 5% commission may be taken directly out of the client's account to pay the commission to me. That's actually one of the better forms because the client actually sees that they paid that fee and they know exactly what the cost was to them. But what typically happens is that 5% commission is not charged directly to the client. The client is then charged an annual fee for being in that investment, whether it's 2% a year, 2.5% a year, 3% a year, whatever it may be. They don't know, and they typically can't see that fee on their statement. So the advisor gets paid 5% for selling that $100,000 investment, and the client is paying this fee, but they don't really know what it is. They don't really know what it amounts to, and they can't see it anywhere. So sometimes it's kind of like a phantom fee.
And sometimes that's like with the old car sales, those back-end money everybody talks about in mortgages as well, which are, we know as servicing release premium. But the reality is the biggest problem with that, I think, in your industry is surrender charges.
Yeah. So a lot of those types of products have these surrender charges. So you're locked in for 7, 8, 10, 15
I ran
years.
Into that.
And you can't get out without this big penalty or fee to move out of the investment. If you're going to hold it for the long term, that's probably fine. But, those surrender charges are typically along with, oh, by the way, you're going to pay 2.5% a year for this investment. And they don't really realize that the broker made all the money up front in that commission. So two major problems that you run into with that. The first one is that if I have a product that pays 5% and 6%, do I choose the 5% because it's the better product for you, or do I choose the 6% product because I'm making more money? So it puts these advisors in this position where are they making the right decision is the question that everybody's asking. Number two is that in these commission-based products, it breeds this what we call churning. So if I sell you a product and I make 5%, and then a year later I convince you to get rid of that product and sell you another product so that I can generate another commission, that's an issue too, because now I'm churning over those investments in order to generate more fees for myself, whether or not it's in the best interest of the client. So commissions get it's rough in the commission world right now because everybody's saying commissions are bad, don't pay commissions, go with a fee-based advisor. So that brings us to the second way of doing business, and that would be fee-based business. So fee-based business means that you're going to pay an annual fee for the assets that you have under management or in your account. So typically that's somewhere around, let's call it 1% a year, okay? And you're typically going to pay those fees quarterly. So $250 a quarter. So if you have a $100,000 account, 1%, you're paying $1,000 a year, $250 a quarter. Okay, so the beauty of the fee-based business is a couple of different things. Number one is that you're only paying for a quarter at a time. So unlike a commission where the advisor made 5% up front and doesn't make any more money going forward, so he made his money and he cares less what happens to your investment and whether he services you going forward. The fee-based advisor has to earn your business 3 months at a time. That has to make sure that you're happy, make sure that you stay there, because if you leave, that stream of income leaves with it.
So pretty good. Accountability and retention is important.
Right, 100%.
All right.
The other thing that's beneficial on a fee-based account is that you sit very much on the same side of the table as the advisor. The advisor wants to see your account grow as much as you do. If you lose money in your investment, he loses income. If your account grows, the value of your account gets bigger, and so does his fee that he pulls in on a regular basis. So it keeps that advisor very motivated on getting your account
Because you're
heading
getting a
the right
percentage
direction.
of that portfolio. So if it grows, you make more money
Exactly.
each quarter.
Exactly.
Okay, that's
good.
good.
Exactly.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
so over time, so you're working now with the client saying, hey, how do we get this account to grow? We need to make some money. I want to increase my fees. You know, I tell clients, when I do my business planning for the year, I'll talk about what new business can I bring in, and then I estimate how much can I grow the assets that I currently have as part of my way of growing my business over time. So I'm focused on growing those assets and making my clients money.
Makes
so
sense.
that I can make more money. So we're working together.
Good.
So fee-based is good in that way. The other thing is what is probably the most popular right now is what is called a fee-only practice. A fee-only advisor can be fee-based, the same way we just talked about, or they can charge a fee for service, so like an hourly fee. So instead of charging you based on the products that they sell or the money that they manage, they'll charge you for the time that they're servicing your account, the time that they meet with you, and they have an hourly rate, and they bill you just like your attorney or your CPA
if you move
or
to that
anything
if
like
you
that.
move to that model, I'm out.
Well, what's funny is that's the most popular right now.
6-minute increments, I'm
because
out.
The regulators love it because it eliminates this question of why am I selling this product? I mean, you're not selling,
I get it.
you're providing a service and you're receiving a fee for it. And so the conflict of interest is declined. So the regulators love fee only, and fee only is this big buzzword on the internet right now. And everybody says, go to a fee only advisor. So the problem being that, if you're a fee only, you can't do commission-based business. Okay. And so I know we're running short on time, so I'll knock this out right here. And see, this is the thing is I don't like having my hands tied behind my back.
Neither do we. We get that.
I think that you're being forced into a fee-only model because they don't want advisors to have the option to put you in things that you're not supposed to be put in. My thing is that I'm not going to put my clients in anything that's not right for them, not because the regulators are telling me to do that, but because I want to do the right thing for my clients. So,
and why we work with you.
Thank you.
Right.
So there are circumstances, and I ran into one recently where I used a commission-based product for a client of mine, and he paid about $100 to get into that product, and he's going to pay about $19 a year to own it for the life of that product. If I would have put him into a fee-based model, he would have paid about $425 a year for that fee-based model.
Big difference.
And if I would have charged him fee only for the hours that I spent with him, he would already owe me over $1,000 in fees. So for that,
And a couple dinners.
right? So for that client, the commission made sense. Now,
Okay.
for transparency purposes, about 85 to 90% of my business is fee-based business because typically that is the right way to go and it makes the most sense for my clients.
And then you guys are working side by side,
Right.
like you said.
But there's 10 to 15% of my business that may be in commission-based products, and those clients are better for it. So I like to say that it's not so much that you're forced into one that's the perfect solution. It just depends on the client. And what is our responsibility as advisors is to bring the best solution for the client and for the client to spend time understanding what are the fees, how are you getting paid, how am I paying my fees, am I liquid, am I locked in, ask questions, understand what you're getting yourself into, and work with an advisor that you can trust is going to put you in the right product because they care about you, not because a regulator is forcing them to do a certain thing. So it's a complicated world, but I think having all the solutions to work with is the best thing for everybody involved.
100%. You couldn't have said it better. So we do have to close out here on our Saturday. How can they get a hold of you, Chris?
Check out my website, www.ingramfinancialsolutions.com. You can email me at chris@ingramfinancialsolutions.com. That's really the best way.
All right. Sorry we have to bail out of here. Chris, great job as always. Please, we love having you on the show. Please check us out at donandgino.com. Check out aprgi.com, which is a group of the best professionals in town that Chris is part of. Other than that, have a great Saturday. Make sure, again, check out ingramfinancialsolutions.com. Thank you for joining us on this fine Saturday. Have a wonderful weekend and be good humans.